Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report. Celtics beat the Grizzlies here, as we talked about. Sam Hauser, excellent in this one. We hit on Peyton Pritchard on our walk-off. You can go check that out on Celtics All Access. Josue Pavon here. We're going to talk about Sam Hauser, who many worried fell off the map, wouldn't recover, and would need to be replaced eventually at the deadline after his 2-month or so slump. Slump, by the way, that Peyton Pritchard kind of contested, but we'll get to that. Hauser, 20 points in this one, 7 of 12 from the field, hits 6 threes, which matches his season high, and gets up to 13 for 39 over his last couple games here, which is about 57%. He's on fire again. He's got 3 starts, and I'm sure he's going to continue to start over the next 2 into the All-Star break. Jason Tatum going to catch some rest on Wednesday. Is he back?
I think so, Bobby. And what I mean by that, I don't quite sure if that was realistic to expect him to shoot that well the way he did in the first month of the season, for that to stretch all season long. But in terms of him being more consistent and finding that confidence and showing why he's a true asset for this Celtics team, yeah, I would say he's back for sure. And I think he's a lot more confident than he was maybe a couple of months ago when he was going through that hot streak. You know, finding other ways to score inside the arc, I think, is probably the next step. But cementing a significant role in the rotation and Joe Mazzulla's rotation, I think, is the goal. I really do. I think they really believe in this guy. I think it has a lot to do with why maybe the Celtics weren't so eager to go and trade for a secondary wing, which is what I really wanted them to do. But maybe they do that in the buyout market. However, what Brad Stevens said before Wednesday night's game, in the sense of, or Friday night's game rather, in the sense of making sure that guy knows his role, in the sense of that he doesn't want to play a whole lot because he doesn't want to take away minutes from guys like Derek White and guys like Brogdon, even he mentioned. And I think Hauser also fits in that mold. Yeah,
and it showed in their buyout approach as well. Pursued Danny Green, as we talked about on the show. Yeah. Woj reported that originally. Came down to the Cavaliers and Celtics today, and he chose Cleveland, possibly because he could be a starter there, which is key.
Right. And that's what players are going to do. See, that's the thing. Like, high quality or even candidates that, you know, multiple teams are trying to convince to sign, they're going to think about what their role is going to be on that team, and they're going to think about what's best for them in their careers. Whereas the Celtics are looking for a guy to fill a role that's not going to exceed, you know, the likelihood of that guy getting strong minutes, where anywhere between like 15 to 20 minutes a game.
And you talked about what Brad said about not pulling minutes away from other guys. I did think of Hauser immediately when he said that. Here was Brad Stevens on Friday talking about their buyout and deadline approach.
And did you know, like yesterday after the deal for Mike, like all right, we're done, or was there a point, I don't know, can you give us like a window into how the day unfolded? Was there a point you guys were looking for anything bigger, or close to anything bigger?
I mean, it's interesting because, you know, everybody's just kind of around that day, but you're having all those talks for months leading up to that, and so you pretty much know what's real and what's not. And so it was pretty quiet for us after the deal for Mike, I would say.
The 3-guard lineups have been productive this season. Was that relevant to both not trading Peyton Pritchard and not making a deal for a wing?
Yeah, and I would just add to like Peyton's really good, you know, and inevitably last year we played several, you know, or at least a couple of playoff games without Smart, right? And then you can't, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, Peyton's a good player who's proven he can play in the playoffs, and it's not an easy situation for him. But like I said earlier, we could play him to point and bump others up to the wings, and those have been good lineups because they're good players. And so, yeah, that certainly factored in. But, you know, again, I don't know what we'll do with our last spot, and we'll take our time and evaluate that appropriately. And if we find somebody that feel like we fit, that'd be great.
So they love their rotation, and he said later in the press conference that they're looking for a veteran presence, possibly someone they're sacrificed like Blake Griffin has.
Right.
Play some nights. I thought it would have been cool to give Danny Green some spot starts.
It would have been cool to see him in a Celtics uniform, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
I think Celtics fans would have really, I mean, if they don't know about him, they would have, you know, been like, man, this guy can really give you that energy on both ends of the floor. So
and we talked about how he would be the only champion on the team.
That's right.
Toronto and Los Angeles.
Which was the storyline going into the finals, that every member of that Celtics team, it was their first time in the NBA Finals. Now a lot of those guys are going to be able to say that this is their second time, and then guys like, you know, Brogdon, obviously, is their first. So yeah, it would have been cool to have someone in the mix that had been there and done that.
So they miss out on Green. Should they turn their attention to someone else? Do you have anyone else in mind? I know people get really excited about this. It's not the biggest decision in the world.
Yeah.
you might just not even get anybody.
It's just fun to talk about. I
Yeah.
think that's really what it boils down to.
Once the deadline's over, you're
This
like,
is
all
the
right, what's
step.
next?
Right, right. I mean, this is what you're going to get in terms of seeing a team
I don't think they're gonna
add a
sign
couple
anyone.
pieces. You don't think so?
No.
I think they will, but I don't think it may not be the name that everyone's
just be
talking
someone
about.
from Maine.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they'll go that route, but maybe.
All right, so who do you
maybe.
want?
I mean, look, the name that everyone's talking about, Will Barton. I like it. Guys like someone like that. Terrence Ross looks like he's off the board now, so maybe they can make that fit. Just a high offense-powered guy to come in, kind of give you a little bit what Hauser's doing, but a bit more, right? You can put the ball on the floor a little bit, can run the fast break for you, score in bunches, and isn't going to expect to play 20 minutes a game. So, I mean, if that doesn't happen, I wouldn't be surprised either, because you think about, again, what Brad Stevens is talking about. I mean, he really likes this team. He really likes the pieces that they already have. So, if anything, it's obviously insurance. You want to have that secondary wing player that can spell, Tatum and Jaylen Brown in the playoffs. And Hauser will be a part of that, but another piece would be nice.
I've never been a huge Barton fan, and we'll see what other names shake loose. Patrick Beverley's out there. I don't think that's a fit. The buyout market's never great.
I'm good. I think Beverley is not. I don't think he helps this team right now.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be stunned if the Celtics just stand pat there. And for now, we haven't heard about anyone else being connected to them. Danny Green to the Cavaliers today, according to Woj. Sam Hauser back on the map with 4 breakout games. He'll continue to start into the All-Star break as Jaylen Brown recovers from his injury. He did say pregame that he's going to try to play in the All-Star game. So maybe there's a chance he returns before then, or at the very least just after the All-Star break ends there. For now, Josue, Pavon, but man, we're going to talk about Rob Williams and some of those injuries continuing to linger into our next video on Celtics All Access. We're brought to you by HelloFresh. HelloFresh.com/Garden65 gets you 65% off your order when you head over there, as well as free shipping. Great meal kits, prepackaged ingredients, and instructions make it so easy. Really good to eat.
Right.
It's all fresh on ice to your door. It's HelloFresh.com/Garden65. And Athletic Greens, put in your water each morning. You're getting vitamins, minerals, adaptogens, probiotics, 75 of those in each sip. You're going to get a year's supply of vitamin D with that as well, and 5 free travel packs when you head to athleticgreens.com/garden. From the Garden, 119-109 the final. Celtics beat the Grizzlies. An important win with a few guys down. Check out our next video. Josue Pavon, Bobby Manning.